Exodus chapter 10. Chapter 10 presents a shift in the messaging of the plagues. In the introduction to the plagues, Hashem said to Moshe, back in Shemot Zayin Hey, V'yidu Mitzrayim ki ani Hashem bin toti et yadi al Mitzrayim v'yotzeti et bnei Yisrael mitocham. The Egyptians shall know that I am Hashem when I stretch my hand over Egypt and bring out the Israelites in their midst. In the very first plague, Moshe tells Pharaoh, Shemot Zayin Yud Zayin, Ko amar Hashem bezot teida ki ani Hashem hinei anochi makeh b'mateh asher b'yadi al hamayim asher b'yaor v'nefchu l'dam. Thus said Hashem, by this you shall know that I am Hashem. See, I shall strike the water in the Nile with the rod that is in my hand, and it will be turned to blood. Next, in chapter 8, before the plague of wild animals, Moshe explains, in Shemot Chet, Pasuk Yud Chet, V'ifleiti bayom ahu et eretz Goshen asher ami omed aleha levilti hayot sham arov leman teida ki ani Hashem bekerev haaretz. On that day I will set apart the region of Goshen where my people dwell, so that no swarm of insects or wild animals shall be there, that you may know that I, Hashem, am in the midst of the land. For the next plague, pestilence, Moshe tells Pharaoh, Ki bapam hazot ani sholech et kol megefotai el libcha uvavadecha uve'amcha ubavor teda ki ein kamoni b'chol haaretz. For this time I will send all my plagues upon your person and on your courtiers and your people, in order that you will know that there is none like me in all the land. Chapter 9, verse 14. After Pharaoh begs Moshe to stop the plague of hail, Moshe responds, chapter 9, pasuk 29, Kitzeiti et ha'ir efroses kapai el Hashem hakolot yachtulu v'abarad lo ya'od lama'an teida ki la Hashem haaretz. As I go out of the city, I shall spread out my hands to Hashem, and the thunder will cease, the hail will fall no more, so that you may know that the earth is Hashem's. Notice the progression. A general introduction that both the Egyptians and Pharaoh will know that Hashem is God. Then, that God is in the midst of the land. Then, that there is none like God in all the land. And finally, that the very land itself belongs to God. In chapter 10, the messaging shifts again. Leman tisaper ba'aznei vincha uven vincha et asher hitalalti b'mitzrayim vetotiti asher samti bam v'datem ki ani Hashem. Pasuk bet. And that you may recount in the hearing of your child and your child's child how I made a mockery of the Egyptians and how he displayed my signs among them, in order that you may know that I am Hashem. Now that the Egyptian people realize that Hashem is the master of the land, it is time for the focus to shift to the Israelites themselves. Recall that they did not believe Moshe when he first came to tell them that Hashem had sent them. Before the final 3 plagues, the purpose is no longer about convincing Egypt, it is about convincing the very people Moshe is there to save. This progression reflects a profound educational process, one that echoes Rambam's philosophy in Hilchot Yesodei Torah 2, entry 2. When a person contemplates his wondrous and great works and creations and appreciates his infinite wisdom, immediately he loves, praises, and glorifies him. For Rambam, the first step toward knowing God is through observing nature and its order. The plagues invert this principle. Pharaoh begins by witnessing disruptions in nature. Water becomes blood, hail becomes fire, darkness covers the sun, as we discussed in previous chapters, until he realizes that these forces are not autonomous, but under divine control. In this sense, the plague serves as a Maimonidean curriculum for Pharaoh, teaching him through the grandeur and vulnerability of creation that the Creator alone governs reality. Once Pharaoh receives this education, then Bnei Israel can learn from Pharaoh and from Hashem through Moshe as well, so that what they denied in the beginning when Moshe spoke to them at first, they now believe fully. Hashem is the supreme master of the world.